Well, the players in the women's AFL competition refused to have a minute's silence before two of their games this weekend because it was Indigenous round. What's the connection, you ask? Well, it's a bit tenuous. Belinda Duarte, a director of the Western Bulldogs AFL club and a trustee of the MCG, said honouring the Queen, quote, unearthed deep wounds, unquote. She elaborated, another quote, while for many Australians it's seen as appropriate to recognise the significance of the Queen's passing, we must understand that this brings up for First Peoples the impact of colonisation and what the monarchy represents to us and our families, unquote. Well, whatever painful feelings are brought up by the impact of colonisation, Duarte should remind herself of some of its benefits. These include giving women equal rights and status in society, property rights, democracy, individualism, access to Europe's history of art and culture, and a legal system that had evolved over hundreds of years. Duarte herself should be daily reminded of that legal system. She's the CEO of a not-for-profit corporation called Culture is Life, which believes, quote, that all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young people have the right to thrive and flourish, unquote. Indeed they do. And our legal system, under which Culture is Life is incorporated, enables Duarte to help them do exactly that. So what's her problem? But most of all, the impact of colonisation includes opportunities to participate in and excel at sport and even play it professionally. For Duarte to stand up at a football match and declare that colonisation had wounded First Peoples when some of those people were about to play in a professional football match is hypocrisy on steroids. Australians have always adored their Indigenous sports stars, from Lionel Rose and Yvonne Goolagong to Adam Goodes. One person who is sick to death of all this hypocrisy is Warren Mundine, and I'm pleased to say he joins me now. Warren, welcome.
How you going, Fred?
Good, Warren. Warren, now look, you grew up under some pretty tough conditions, as you explained in your autobiography a few years ago. How much harder was your childhood compared to the way most vocal Indigenous people grow up these days?
Well, it just goes to show you that a lot of Indigenous people today have not learnt their history. You know, like I was born in 1956. I lived the first 13 years of my life under the New South Wales Aboriginal Protection Act and the Aboriginal Welfare Board, and they controlled our life from cradle to grave. You know, that many of our people were on Aboriginal reserves. They could tell us what schools we could go to and what schools we couldn't. They could, up until the 1960s, they had curfews on us at night. That we also had, salary restrictions. So, for instance, if a person sitting next to me doing the same job as me get paid $100, I'd get paid $40. So we had all these things, as well as, police and everything else that were sort of, controlling our lives completely. And I just find it funny about some of the ignorance here, because since the 1970s, all these laws have disappeared. You can't point to any law today that is discriminatory against anyone.